Balamurugan from the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, working as an assistant professor. So now what we are going to do is we are going to study a topic on algorithmic problem solving. Okay, study a topic on algorithmic problem solving. In that, you are going to discuss about the various steps in problem solving. Okay, so let us discuss. Okay, so we'll see the topics one by one. Okay, so the steps in problem solving. So there are various steps in problem solving. So these are listed here. Okay, first one is starting from problem definition. Starting from problem definition. Okay, problem definition. Next one is problem analysis. Third one is algorithm development. Next is program coding, program testing and debugging, documentation. So these are the various steps in problem solving. Okay, starting from problem definition to documentation. Okay, so first we'll discuss one by one in a detailed manner. Okay, first slide you are going to problem definition. Problem definition means you need to get the problem, clear structure of the problem from the user. You need to get the clear structure of the problem. What is the problem? What is the problem? What is the what we need to do from the problem? We need to get the clear structure of the problem from the user. We need to ask these types of questions. One is uh, they have told define and specify the problem. Define and specify. We need to define the problem clearly. We need to define the problem clearly, and we need to specify our problem statement in clear manner. And we need to ask the following questions. Okay, what's the role of computer program? What computer program will do? Okay, then what are the tasks performed by computer program? Okay, what are the datas? Okay, datas. When coming to datas, what type of data can be there? It can be a primary data or secondary data. Okay, primary data or secondary data. So these things we have discussed in these things are covered in research methodology. Primary data is nothing but data collected through field works. Okay, data collected through field works directly through experimentation. Okay, directly through experimentation. Okay, whereas secondary data or data collected from journals, newspapers, and then some online sites. Okay, these are the examples of secondary data. And then after gathering the data, what we are going to do with the data? After gathering the data, what we are going to do with the data? And finally, what will be the output of your program? Okay, and how your program interact with the user? Okay, these are the questions you need to address. Okay, these are the questions you need to ask. Okay, ask while defining or specifying the problem. Okay, last point, specifying the problem requirement forces the programmer to state the problem clearly. As I mentioned already, your problem should be specified in clearer manner. Okay, which helps the user to understand, or which helps the developer to understand clearly about the problem. About your problem should be understandable in clear manner, and the solution should also be identified by the developer. Okay, developer is a person who understands problem, specify problem. The customer will specify the problem. Okay, to whom? To developer. Customer will specify the problem to the developer. Developer will find the solution to the problem. Okay, developer will find solution to the problem and write coding accordingly. Okay, these are the steps in problem definition. Problem definition is nothing but you need to specify your problem in clearer manner by asking following questions. One is what your computer program will do, what tasks it will perform, what kind of data you needed. Okay, either you need primary data or secondary data, where you are going to collect the data and where you are going to get the data, how will you use the data. All details should be mentioned clearly in problem definition phase itself. Then what is the output of your program, how your program will interact with the user, and clear understanding of the program. These are the things we need to specify in problem definition part. Okay, then we'll go to problem analysis part. Okay, analysis means you're analyzing the problem. Okay, you're analyzing the problem. Analyzing means you already I told three things needed for a problem. One is your input. Input. Okay, your input. What's the input of your problem? Okay, what's the output of your problem? What is the output of your problem? Okay, what is the that is nothing but result. What is the input of your problem? What is the output of your problem? That needs to be analyzed, so that they have given identify the problem inputs and results in which format. Okay, which format? A format is nothing but the format given by the user. Okay, user who's expected format of the user. Okay, you have to satisfy the user's requirement, so that you should get the format from the user, and you need to deliver the solution based on their format. Okay, then is there any requirement for additional resources or constraints that you need to gather in problem analysis part? The next one is algorithm development. Algorithm development is nothing but for a given problem you're trying to find a solution. Okay, you're trying to find the solution of the particular problem. So for algorithm, as we know already, it is a step-by-step procedure for solving a problem. So an algorithm can be expressed in three ways. Let us discuss. One is pseudocode. An algorithm can be represented in form of pseudocode, can be represented in form of flowchart, it can be represented in form of coding. Pseudocode is nothing but it just describes the program outline. Okay, describes the program outline. You may convert them to a program statement. Okay, then flowchart we have discussed already. It's a pictorial representation of an algorithm. This is a pictorial representation of an algorithm. Then program coding. Coding is nothing but the process of translating the algorithm to a given programming language. The process of translating the algorithm to some program, either example Python or C or C++, any language you can translate with the help of algorithm. Okay, these are the steps in algorithm development. Then when coming to testing and debugging, this is very important part. A program is completed. After completed, you need to check the program. Is there any errors or there in your program? Is there any errors? So testing is nothing but testing and debugging is the process of finding errors. Okay, process of finding errors. Testing is nothing but you're checking whether all the lines are executing correctly. Okay, if you give some input, your program have to execute its all instructions. Okay, debugging is a process of finding error, mistakes in a program. Okay, there can be three types of errors. One is syntax error, runtime error, logical error. Syntax error is nothing but errors in programming syntax. Okay, runtime error is nothing but errors occurred while program is being executed. Example for runtime error is exception handling. Example for runtime error is exception handling. Okay, exception and runtime errors are occurred during exceptions. Okay, runtime errors are also called as exceptions. Then logical errors, logical errors also called as the errors done while writing wrong formula. For example, for addition of two numbers, c equal to, instead of c equal to a plus b, if you give c equal to a minus b, you will get wrong output. So that is called logical error. Then final thing is documentation. Documentation is nothing but if the project is completed, you're delivering the project to the customer. You're checking whether all the parts are working. Before delivering, you're checking whether all the parts are working. Documentation is nothing but you're giving some manuals. You're giving some manual to the user. Okay, you're giving some manual to the user. In this manual, you should make the working, how the project is working, how it is functioning. You should give all the details, so that if the user reads that manual, they can understand easily. Okay, how to work that software, how to work with that software. That should be delivered to the customer. Then internal documentation is nothing but some remarks or comments written in programming instructions. Okay, some remarks or comments. You're writing the comments. For example, this is my using double slash. This is my first program. Likewise, you're writing the comments, or else this is the program for online shopping. and then this was developed by so and so from this company. Okay, comments it is nothing but comments. So I hope you understood these concepts. So these are the various steps in problem solving. Okay, initially it starts from problem definition. We have seen what is problem analysis. Problem definition means you're clearly defining the structure of the problem. Problem analysis means you're identifying the input and output. Algorithm development means you're converting your problem to an algorithm. Algorithm can be solved in three ways. One is pseudocode, flowchart, and programming. And next one is program coding, means you're converting your algorithm to a coding. You're using some coding language like C or C++ or Java. Testing means you're checking all the parts are working properly. Debugging means you're identifying the errors in your program. Documentation means there are two types of documentation. One is internal documentation and external documentation. Documentation is nothing but you are giving some manual to the user about how to work with that software. Okay, so thank you. Hope you understood these concepts. Let us discuss in some other topic. Okay.